So it's Saturday afternoon in camp. It's almost 1 p.m. and I'm cooking up a pot of soup right here. It's got it's one of those soup packets from the grocery stores, not the cheap Mr. Noodles, but one of the really nice ones. It's minestrone. This is actually the second pot I've done today, both with added dehydrated onions, mushrooms, ground beef, and potatoes. The first one I cooked on my camp stove. That little guy. It was all finished up, and I was about to serve some up in my bowl, and wouldn't you know it, it got bumped and spilled the whole thing on the ground. So, lunch, round 2. I will not spill this one. Life goes on. And the soup, it came out really good, really hit the spot. Very happy with this one. So, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, Saturday, day 2 in camp. Sitting around having a little campfire here, and I'm going to do a little bit of reading. Frank Wolf, Lines on a Map by Frank Wolf. It's a book about, well, it's a compilation of stories that Frank has written over the years about his adventures all over Canada and the world for that matter. And he's a pretty cool guy. I've met him a few times. He's a friend. I've read part of this book already. I'm going to get a few more chapters in here today. Hey folks, so it's a little after 4 o'clock, almost 4:30, cooking up some lunch here, or dinner, supper, whatever you want to call it. Got it started on my Brunton camp stove, brought her to a boil, and then we transferred it over to the campfire here. Got her on a simmer on a nice small fire. Let's give that a little stir. What we're having is a package of sidekicks, the cheddar chipotle. Not this one, I brought 2 of them. The other one is in the pot. There's a bit of oregano and some spicy seasoning. There's also some dehydrated onions and dehydrated ground beef that I brought with me. Just toss that right in, add just a little bit extra water. And once it's close to done, I'm just going to cut up a little bit of this mozzarella cheese. Slice that up. Got a knife right here. One of my Leathermans. I'm just going to slice a little bit of that into it soon. Let that melt in. And that is supper for today. Very relaxing day today. Yesterday was the ride out, 50K. Today is the day in and around camp. Doing a few things, playing around a little bit of reading, stuff like that. And tomorrow I might just do the same thing, take an extra day off, and then do the ride back on Monday. That's kind of what we're looking at. So it's partially a biking trip, partially a camping trip, a little bit of both. Don't have to ride every day to make it a good trip. The daylight hours are very short right now. It was dark before 7:30 last night. Also quite cool. Forecast temperatures were -6, -7 degrees Celsius. So lots of sitting around the campfire. The ride out, I think I talked about this yesterday, but the ride out went pretty good. Felt strong. Whoa, 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 whoa. And the ride out felt pretty good, stronger than the last trip I did. The hills were all much easier and quite easy. I was actually working a lot less, trying to go slower on the hills on purpose to avoid sweating so much. It was quite cold out. I didn't want to work up a sweat on the climbs and then get cold on the descents and the downhills, which is still what happened to a degree, but it wasn't too bad. Towards the end, was just a few kilometers to go, the hands were getting kind of cold. I was just wearing my Pearl Izumi cycling gloves. I got a pair of police gloves that are a lot warmer. It's the same temperature riding back. I'll probably wear those at least for a part of the trip. Got a lot of clothing options with me, so I'm not too worried about it. And once I got in here yesterday, got changed into nice warm dry clothes, felt like $1,000,000. Anyways, I'm going to get back to tending my lunch. Get that into me. I am starved. We'll be back at you soon. So yeah, we moved the pot down a little bit lower, get it away from the the hotter part of the fire up here, and now we're just adding the last of the mozzarella cheese that I wanted to add in. What you see here left was about 5 times that, roughly. And just cutting it into little sections and dropping her in there. Quality control. It passes. Just give that a good stir. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I'm not going to dip that over too far. Smoking that. So yeah, this morning, doing up a soup for lunch. Had that all cooked up on the pot like I mentioned earlier. Just about to serve it up. I accidentally knocked it over, spilled the whole thing, had to start over with another one. Second one turned out real good though. So all was good in the end. Here we go. Alright, now that that's simmered for a while, it's all done up. I'm going to get a couple more little sticks on the fire here, get this thing going a little bit. It's going to be a cool end of the afternoon and evening. After I eat, I'm going to gather up some more firewood to supplement that. Planning on having an early night tonight, probably going to be in the tent by about 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock. It'll be dark at 7:30, so I'm going to get some food into me now, do a few camp chores, and it'll be an early evening. Oh, this is good. This really hits the spot right now. I don't know if you can see that, but this stuff just plain is okay. But you add in the dehydrated ground beef and onions and stuff like that, the extra cheese, it just comes out that much better. Definitely worth the extra effort, and doing the dehydrating, you're not really adding any weight to what you're bringing, so it's worth it. Anyways, you probably don't want to watch me eat, so I'm going to turn the camera off for now. See you in a bit. Hey folks, Joe here. How's it going? It is almost 6:30 on a Saturday evening, Lake Superior, Jarvis Bay. And I'm on this 3 or 4 day cycling trip, and man, I messed up. I had a place picked up over there and up the mouth of the river a couple 100 meters. Been eyeing it for years to set up a campsite, so that's what I did. Rode in yesterday, got here kind of late, got it set up, thought it was going to be great. Last night was fun. And then today, I find I'm spending more time down here, up and down this beach, where I camped on the bike back in September, and where I also spent a couple nights canoe camping last week, about 100 meters or so down here where that old bushcraft shelter is. And I'm sitting up in the woods around my campsite, thinking, I don't like it here. I mean, it's nice, but down here is so much nicer. Up there, I have lots of trees to look at in all directions. A little bit of a view of the river itself, but not much. Not good water access. I'm coming down here to the beach to get water, all that, 2 or 3 times a day. And here's the view I have down here. I decided to stay out at least one more night. Yeah, one more night, otherwise if I go any longer than that, I'm going to run out of food. I have enough for 4 days, but I don't have enough for 5. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to break camp and head back down either right here or down there, 100 meters or so, where I was for a couple days last week with the canoe, and set up camp there for one last night and enjoy the views here. Break camp the next day and start riding back into town. It's a 50K ride, piece of cake. Get back into town, unpack, unwind, start putting a few videos together for you, get those posted, and get to work in the shop, get some paddles built and all that stuff. And I'm starting to think I got to do one more trip this year on the lake, either canoe or sea kayak. I haven't done a sea kayak trip in several years because of the elbow issues. but I'm kind of itching to load up the big sea kayak and paddle her out and come back down here and just hang out here for 3 or 4 days. Probably 2-day paddle each way. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. The days are getting awfully short. It's getting dark earlier and earlier. So I don't know. Anyways, we'll see. Or I could bring the canoe, bring the Coleman lantern, the Coleman 2-burner stove, and lots of fuel, and just live it up. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Anyways, this will be part of the video for day 2, or it might be part of the video for the conclusion of this whole thing, or maybe I'll just do one video for the whole trip. Not sure yet. Winging it, gonna have my coffee, check my phone for messages, messaging back and forth with an old friend today. In fact, that's what's got me thinking about doing a sea kayak trip. And this is in the woods heading back up to the current campsite. All the leaves on the ground. I tell you, October really is my favorite month for getting out and doing this sort of stuff. I just love it this time of year. And there's the tent site with my North Face Rock 22. Been a great tent, had it for years, love it. Hey folks, so it is Saturday night, a little past 8 o'clock. Just having a campfire, finished my last coffee for the day just a little while ago. No beer or wine for tonight. I still have some, but I'm going to hold off on that for tomorrow night, which will be the last night. I'm going to have that in the evening. Tomorrow morning I'm going to break camp here, as I was mentioning earlier when I was sitting down on the beach. I'm going to move my camp back over that way, probably towards that old shelter. There's a really nice spot there. Great view of the bay along Lake Superior here. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. And then tomorrow night I'm going to have a couple beer, have the rest of that wine, and just enjoy the rest of this trip before riding out first thing Monday morning. Anyways, just wanted to give another little update before I call it a night here. It's, let's see, supposed to go down to I think -5 tonight, -5, -6. Anyways, I'm heading into the tent shortly. I've got my candle lantern all ready to go. What I do is I use one of those UCO candle lanterns. Not the electric kind that everybody's using right now. I just started using the old candle lantern again. Having that suspended from the gear loft in the tent with the carabiner hanging down a few inches down the far end of the tent, and I'll let that burn all night. That keeps the heat up in the tent quite nicely. Tried it last night for the first time in years. I was very happy with the result. So I've got 2 candles left, one for tonight, one for tomorrow night. And the company that makes the candle lantern, UCO, they also make a version that holds 3 candles. They call it the Candelier. I'm probably ordering one of those on Tuesday, along with a bulk buy of a bunch of the candles themselves. I can get that from one of my suppliers I used to deal with a lot, and I'm still a dealer for them, so I'm going to order some of that up. And if I get out again this year, that's the plan. Talk to you soon.